This is to introduce QandAgent, an AI agent which is designed to help you own your intelligence layer. So we can turn your organization's internal docs into a private end-to-end secure AI agent for Q&A of those docs. It is 100% local and 100% yours. No cloud APIs involved. It will be your code, your data, your intellectual property, and ultimately your QandAgent. The problem space that Level Up is trying to address with this solution is that internal docs often already have the answers, but your team can't always find them. And when documentation is out of date, it actually discourages people from using it as well as updating it, especially when it's very difficult to be able to distribute that information and know whether or not the docs are even accurate anymore. So your team can end up wasting a lot of time on that. And Q&A agent is coming here to change all of that and make your documentation sources searchable and understandable based on modern AI chatbot type functionality while running entirely on your own infrastructure. We do think that this is important, and certainly it sounds like based on surveys and everything else that there's a limiting factor for AI adoption. That is, people are not really comfortable. Companies are not really comfortable in providing a lot of their internal documentation to these large chatbots like ChatGPT and Claude and so forth. So with QandAgent, what you get is a local LLM that is powering your Q&A. It can handle everything from Markdown to PDF to Confluence and Wiki SOPs. It is based on RAG and vectorstore, if you're familiar with those paradigms. It is a secure prompt architecture, no cloud APIs involved. It's customizable to integrate with any authentication that you're working with in the enterprise. And it is configurable and extensible, as far as how you handle document ingestion pipelines. There's simply a one-time flat fee, no license, no subscription, no add-ons, no upsells. We'll scope this and make sure that you get the solution that you're looking for in a single project. We install through things like just basic containers. We can also work with bare metal if that's required, especially around performance or other requirements. By default, Level Up uses this internally with the Slack integration. That's actually what we'll be demoing today, but certainly you could extend this easily to web-based UIs and custom chatbots and things like that. Importantly, it is designed to be able to update your QandAgent against your internal documentation really at any time, but certainly as close to real time as anything could be, which is a pretty big differentiator in my mind. So we'll come back to this slide momentarily, but we're going to take a quick look at a demo here to see how this works. So in the first place, we'll go ahead and take a look at some official documentation that we've downloaded from Red Hat for Ansible 2.5, which is the latest minor version of Ansible automation platform. And so we'll go ahead and we see we've got 24 files here. We're going to go ahead and do a fast rebuild. I do want to let this run for the entire video so you can see just how fast it does ingest quite a number of PDFs. The Red Hat's documentation is excellent. It tends to be quite a bit. But we're seeing that it's actually moving through the vectorstore ingestion very quickly in the way that it's working. And so this will just take a moment. And as I said, this solution can be designed to really handle just about any kind of data. But we do need to kind of go into a project with some predictability around, what those file types are going to be and some other elements of the data sources that we're working with. But certainly this idea could be that you're pulling from, web pages or what have you as well. It's just a simple example that we've provided here for the demo. And it says that it's already completed the rebuild. So now what we'll go ahead and do is we're going to run this prompt in Slack and see what the answer is. So we happen to know in this particular case a better answer than the example that we're giving. Otherwise, it wouldn't be much of a demo. So I'll go ahead and run this here, and it'll take a moment. This is running on my laptop, but it should be a relatively fast answer to come back. And so here it says when we ask it, can you run AAP 2.5 RPM based on a single VM? By default, the documentation is a little bit unclear. Language model would have a hard time with this in general. And so the answer is going to come back and say, yes, it can do that. We happen to know better from the field and there are reasons why. So what we're going to do is go ahead and teach QandAgent to give a better answer to that. So in the first place, we'll go ahead and pull up what's in this file. We'll take a look at it. And here we've actually just, again, very simply, we've created a file that has this prefix internal dash, which, for us is just helping to prioritize that, the internal documentation is a better answer. It could be any data property, really, that would be predictable that we can teach it to help prioritize that. But here the answer is coming back, no, you cannot actually do this, and there are even like reasons why for that. So what we'll do next is we'll go ahead and actually ingest that into this file into the vector store as well. And you'll see, it's pretty much right away that it does that. And so now we'll go ahead and reprompt QandAgent through Slack to ask it what it thinks and see what it comes back with. So indeed, now we are getting a different answer. So based on the information provided, this type of installation cannot be run on a single VM, and it even references the source, right? So you can imagine like a side-by-side situation. You have an official Docker, whatever your SOPs are, maybe even and just another screen, but you're using QandAgent to get an initial answer, and then if you need to kind of trust but verify, you can do that certainly. So that's just a very simple demo. What we recommend for production environments is, a certain combo. So Mixtral if you need higher performance, Mistral for anything else, Red Hat AI Inference Server, wherever possible, definitely more enterprise grade. It's based on VLLM, but it does provide a number of enhancements. Once again, this stays 100% local. Your docs never have to leave your data center or your network to be more valuable to you than ever. We certainly do have other options that we can support, and even in certain cases, if you did want to work with public chatbots, we can make that work. But we do think that in general, this is going to be the opposite case. Once again, with QandAgent, you're getting the foundation of an agentic approach, and so we think the basics are about being able to monitor and update internal and external doc sources. Those integrations again are highly dependent on what those sources are. Very difficult to demo in any particular case, but it can be done. We do think that sort of the next steps beyond that would be, actionable user feedback, the quality of the docs and so forth, thumbs up, thumbs down, maybe even survey flows, things that would probably exist inside of a custom chatbot or, could be built into Slack in different ways. And then also, areas like identifying potential training needs or hot topics that are coming up in the organization. You can do this through graph databases. We actually do have a small thing running even internally for ourselves, just to try to get a sense of, what's really going on. Maybe there are things that we want to double click on and make sure that we have the best possible internal documentation on that topic. Or maybe it's that this is coming up enough with our clients that we may want to look at a package around some type of offering for maybe an AWS service or a category of services that we're working with. So QandAgent is available today. There are a number of ways to reach out to us, and thank you so much for watching.